Hi, my name is Stephanie, and this is my before and after story. Before knowing Christ, I was empty, and after knowing Christ, I became full. When I was 7 years old, my parents got divorced. Throughout my whole life, it's been a constant battle and a lot of different obstacles that I've had to overcome. Moving to Illinois, I went to 2 different churches. I would attend Catholic church and also non-denominational church. Eventually, we started to only attend the non-denominational church. Going to church every Saturday night was a routine. I didn't understand God. I just took everything as a life lesson. Freshman year came and I had a small group leader who really poured a lot of love and support into my group. I still continued in a routine of not really understanding God and having this feeling of being really empty. The summer going into junior year of high school, I attended the summer camp. I remember standing on the side and looking at how crazy God could work, that all these people were here for the same reason. I remember going into small group that night and sharing my life, everything that had happened to me, all my struggles and obstacles. I remember just telling them to tell them, but not really seeing the God in my story. But I remember it being a really big weight lifted off my shoulders. I remember that night going outside to the campfire and just how the love of God in me and feeling so filled of just happiness and joy. And if I could capture that moment in a bottle, I would. I was so happy, and I went into my junior year pretty set on God. I wanted to live it out, be strong in my faith, not really understanding the Bible, just knowing that I had a God that loved me. So senior year and junior year, halfway through junior year, I believed in God, but I wouldn't live out the lifestyle that God wanted me to, and believed that He had plans for me. I had my plan for myself. And through this whole time, I would feel really empty and sad. But I was still going to church, and I was living this double life of going out and then going to church on Sunday. So I remember the last summer camp. This girl was on stage, and she had been to college, and she was saying her first year she tried the party scene and it wasn't for her. And she encouraged all of us to join a youth group, and I remember sitting there just thinking in my head, I want to figure this out for myself. If God wants me to be a part of His kingdom and story, He'll show Himself to me. So I went into college doing my own thing, and I remember I'd go out on the weekends, and Sunday morning would come and I would feel so sad. And I would go on these runs and I would just lay down and talk to God, but didn't want to give up my old lifestyle. And I was so empty and just sad. So one night I was walking by myself, and it was pouring rain out, so I stopped under a building, and I looked up, and I remember praying to God, show yourself to me, give me a sign to know that you're here. I remember looking up and seeing this design was a cross image, and on one side it was complete darkness, and the other side, just going down the stairs, was lightness. Just remember in that moment, I decided in my darkest, deepest, saddest moment of my life that God had used everything up until this moment, the divorce, all the other things that came along with it, to shape me and to show that I needed Him to fill me up, that nothing in this earth, no materials, no boys, nothing could fill me up like the love of God. Thinking back in my head to the summer of going into my junior year, just how happy I felt knowing that I had God. And so from that point on, I decided that I wanted to follow God and to live my life for God, honoring Him and living out the life He had for me and giving Him control of everything. And I just love that it was my darkest moment, that I was so broken and full of shame and guilt, that God came to me and just spoke to my heart. And so I decided in college to start attending youth groups, to surrender my life and give up everything. And it's still a struggle for me. I'm still a sinful person and I'm not perfect. But God sent his only son, Jesus, to die on the cross for my sins. And I just know that nothing in this world will ever fill that emptiness that I feel in me besides the love of God. So that's why for my before and after, I chose before as empty and after as filled.
And no more living in my empty religion. I am running to the place you were slain.